the IB Network and the Box Drop Remote Studio in Grand Junction, Colorado, this is Dave Alley, and this is the Adventure Alley Show. Hi, everyone. Dave Alley here for the Adventure Alley Show. Hope everybody's getting out and having some fun in the great outdoors, and hope you're really having some fun. You know, that's my motto from way back when, even before I moved to Grand Junction, is I try to have fun at least one time a day. And that's so important because life is so short, you need to have some fun. Cooler temperatures around the corner. Hallelujah for that. Still some heavy and hot temperatures coming this coming week, but still, we are going to see some cooler temperatures here in the next 20 to 30 days. And boy, I think everybody, at least on this side of the Continental Divide, are absolutely just can't wait for that to happen. It has been a very long and very hot summer. But cooler air and cooler temperatures are on the way. Hallelujah. I got a good show today. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I got a commentary on exercise equipment. We'll get to that pretty soon. Also, I've got the hunting season opening dates and so forth. Actually, there was a date that opened up last weekend here in Colorado, which was in bow season, and we'll go over that a little bit. Also want to talk a little bit about the females in the field. And the numbers for females, women hunting in the great outdoors and in the Rocky Mountain West are significantly up this year and have been increasing over the last couple of years. So that's good news for everybody. It's good news for hunters. I know that we're certainly anxious to get new hunters out in the field and get some new blood and get some new people that are really enthusiastic about harvesting and having fun in hunting season. Wolves in Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Nevada. That's an ongoing problem, and I got some information about that. That's something that's very controversial. So we'll get into that a little bit. Wild animals in the city. That's never good. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit. 40 songs turning 40. I've been gonna do this the last couple shows and just ran out of time, but I'm gonna jump on that kind of right out of the gate. And then I'm gonna talk about my 70 songs and groups, my favorite ones. And if you don't like it, pick your own or pick your nose. I don't really care. But I'm not politically correct. Don't care. Don't really care. You're ready for fall and cooler weather. I got some information exactly what's coming up as far as the weather forecast here in the future for the whole country, not only just Colorado. I got some nutrition facts. I got some information that's very important about parasites since the cooler weather's coming on, and how to react and also how to prevent attacks by parasites, which like ticks and bugs and that kind of stuff. 10 or 8 places that are very overrated for worldwide vacations. I want to talk a little bit about that. Wind and solar review. Got some information. Going to go over that. I think you'll find it very interesting. I mean, the ins and outs and the goods and the bads. Very interesting. Very interesting. But it doesn't. This isn't a Democrat or a Republican issue. This is an overall environmental issue, and I think that there's good and the bad both. So we'll discuss that. Then I want to talk about the almond orchard nut harvest that I had out in California. Very, very interesting. A lot of fun. And then hunting small game. My first hunting story of the year, and it's hunting small game in Colorado, and that actually happened to me. It's my hunting story, so I'll talk to you about that. And then I got a few other things about, a female University of Washington environmental professor, something that she's been up to out in the great Northwest, and then a few other little topics. So anyway, let's strap it on. Like my old football coach used to say, okay, girls, women, strap on your helmet or your bonnets, and let's get with the program. Boy, I don't know if that would go over, very well anymore this year, or any year. I mean, those guys were cruel back then. They wouldn't even, good God, those guys were tough, mean. And if if half the stuff got out that they did, they would all probably be in jail, coaches. But anyway, don't really care. I had a lot of fun and enjoyed playing football, and football was my life for years and years, but don't really care about it much anymore, which is kind of sad. I enjoy watching college football, and I enjoy watching the Air Force Academy. But other than that, I really don't have any favorites. I graduated from Mesa County or Mesa College, which is now Colorado Mesa University here in Grand Junction, and they've got a good football team, and I'll be anxious to watch them a couple of times. But I don't get really fired up about them. But they're a good team. But I really do still like the Air Force Academy, and I follow them quite often. So anyway, well, let's get going, get right out of the gate here. Let's talk about exercise equipment. As you know, the first of the year, everybody's trying to go on a diet. Everybody's trying to find ways to make their life more beneficial as far as their health is concerned. And a lot of them is they want to lose weight, or they want to get in shape, or they want to do something as far as to make their life expectancy to be longer, or for them to feel better, or for them to look better, so they can attract women or men or whatever the case may be. And a lot of companies sell a lot of exercise equipment at that time of year. Now, this time of year, you could probably go on Craigslist or Facebook or anywhere, and you could see that exercise equipment that these people bought over Christmas, and it's probably you can buy it for just a mere amount of what they actually paid for back in December or January. So my point to this is, if you guys get outside into the great outdoors, do some hiking, do some biking, get out and do stuff, in not only will you feel better in the mountain air or in the desert air or in the prairie air or any air, I mean, you'll feel a lot better. Get out and do some exercise outside. Don't go to a gym. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't benefits to that, because there's a lot of people that just can't get out on a daily basis and do a 5-mile hike or ride 20 miles on a bike or whatever the case may be. But make an effort to do it. There are plenty of places in Colorado. There are plenty of places in anywhere in the Mountain West that you can hike, that you can bike, that you can go and do stuff outdoors, and it won't cost you a thin dime except for your time. Now, with that being said, there are some drawbacks. And by that being is that you always have to be careful of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. If you're going to go out for a jog like that poor lady did back in Iowa a couple of months ago, and then she got killed, I mean, that's a concern. But if you had a concealed weapon carry, or even if you don't, if you carried a gun. I know that there's a lady here in our area that runs 5 days a week, and she runs and exercises outdoors just south of Grand Junction. You think, my God, why in the world would anybody walk or hike or jog on that part of the Mesa County? Because there's nothing out there. Well, there is plenty of stuff out there. There's canyons, there's gullies, and she's not afraid of the human population that's out there. She's worried about mountain lions, bears, etc. And she's seen a couple of them. So she carries a gun, not to kill them, but just scare them off. Or I guess if they did attack her, to maybe kill them. But again, my point is, if you guys want to spend the money, go ahead and do it. If you don't feel comfortable getting out and running, jogging, biking, whatever the case may be, I guess I understand that to a point. But the outdoors, everybody should be on the outdoors. I mean, I lived outside when I was 6 years old until I was, probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just not right to live and not spend most of your time outside. But that's my commentary for the day. Whether you like it or not, some probably are saying that guy's a goofball, which I am. But still, the fact remains is get outside. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to go on these bike trails. It doesn't cost you anything to go on these hiking trails. And if you want to get out, you want to see something different besides running on a treadmill and looking at a mirror of your fat body, get out and do some stuff where you're going to have some fun. But again, that's my own opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Hey, I just want to say happy birthday to Maxine Waters. She turned 80 this last week, and to celebrate, she took her staff out for drinks, and their drink of choice was Colt 45 malt liquor and Mickey's Big Mouth. Man, I'll tell you what, that woman knows how to party. With those two malt liquors, my goodness, I'll bet you those guys were howling at the moon when it was all over. Well, happy birthday, Maxine. She turned 80 years old. I mean, that's 80. God, that's just old. I mean, I can't hardly function as old as I am. I don't know how in the world she's actually trying to run this country being that old, especially drinking that Colt 45. Man, that stuff will give you a horrible headache. Oof. Anyway, happy birthday, Maxine. Let's talk about wolves. Wolves in the Mountain West here. This is a big controversial topic right now. There's a lot of people that want to bring wolves in and introduce them back to Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Arizona, and Wyoming. But there's an awful lot of uproar about this, and I think there's more people that do not want this to happen just because of the fact that wolves are really prolific hunters, and if you get them in a big pack, especially if they breed, and they of course are going to breed. Hell, everybody breeds. I mean, there's some people out in Southern California I wish wouldn't breed, but that's a whole nother story. But the fact remains is that the population rises with these wolves. The population on other species like deer and elk are going to decrease. So I think we have to have a balance of what we're going to have. Now, you're saying to yourselves, well, there were wolves back in the day. There was plenty of wolves in those areas in the Mountain West. Well, that may be true, but there was also probably 10 times as many deer and elk as there are now, and the population, the actual human population, was probably 1/10 of what it is now, or maybe even less. So I think there's a real balance here. I really, in my opinion, I don't think we should introduce wolves back into to our area. Just the fact that the population that we do actually try to harvest, the deer and the elk and the antelope, so on and so forth, are just not that strong. And until those populations get stronger, or the human population gets smaller, I think the wolves, let them stay in Canada. I mean, that's those Canadian wolves. Besides, bringing them down here, they got their communist views of stuff. So just let those wolves stay up in Canada where they belong. Anyway, I think they'd enjoy themselves more up there than if they came back to the Rocky Mountain region. Wild animals in the cities. Now, this is an interesting situation. There have been a lot of animals, and it's because, again, the population of the humans have increased, and we've actually gone out and living in where the animals used to live, where they still live. And once you introduce human populations into the areas where these wildlife, I'm talking about bears, mountain lions, wolves, coyotes. Oh, hang on, everybody. That's my bookie. I keep telling him not to call me during this time, but I'm sure he's got something he wants to ask me. Hang on a second. Yeah, that was my bookie. Sorry about that, everybody. He wanted to know if I was wanted to make any bets on this week's NFL games and or join the fantasy football program again. I said no, and hell no. I don't even watch professional football anymore. Get out of town. Anyway, we're infringing on all these areas that these wild animals are living, and so there's no wonder they're coming into the cities. There have been numerous animals that have been sighted not only in Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, for Christ's sake. I can't believe a wild animal would go to Pueblo. I can't imagine me going to Pueblo, but there are a few animals that have actually gone down there and gone into town. Now, they've left, in a hurry because they saw what kind of a rat hole that place is. So, anyway, they left, but they've been all over the western part of the United States. I mean, there've been sightings of cougars and at BYU. I'm just kidding about that, BYU Cougars. Boy, I'll tell you what, have you ever seen those cheerleaders from BYU? I swear to God, I've never seen more beautiful girls in my entire life as those Mormon girls. Absolutely just beautiful. Anyway, I digress. Oh boy. Anyway, mountain lions in bears in Salt Lake and Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, all the way up and down the coast. Anywhere and everywhere they're close to mountains or anywhere where the animals have had their homes over the last 100 years, you're going to see them coming into the cities. And it's just because not only the droughts but the wildfires and everything, those poor animals are looking for something to eat. So I saw a picture or an article the other day on Facebook about some poor fox had a cat in its mouth and was eating it. But anyway, that's sad. Boy, I gotta take a break on that. That breaks my heart. Anyway, we'll be right back. Take a few minutes here and let me dry my eyes, and we'll be right back. Hi everyone, this is Dave Alley of the Adventure Alley Show on the IB Network, inviting you to join me every Thursday at 3 o'clock and then again at 9 o'clock for a show on the great outdoors. I will inform and hopefully entertain you on everything outdoors, such as ideas on camping, fishing, hunting, as well as reviewing local microbreweries and sports bars. Also, please follow me on Twitter at Adventure Alley or email me at adventurealley@ibnetwork.us. Let's say a few words about Box Drop Grand Junction. They are definitely the place to buy a mattress if you're in the Western Slope or Grand Junction, or even close to being somewhere close to Grand Junction. A lot of people from Moab come to Grand Junction and shop, and they certainly buy mattresses from Box Drop Grand Junction. Not only are discount, but we have truckload sales, and mattresses are a fourth of the price that you can buy them at anywhere in the Western Slope, even in Denver, Colorado Springs. Wonderful quality mattresses, 10-year warranties, all in plastic, all made in the United States. Great value, great prices. Can't say enough about the owner and the actual quality of product that he sells. And the studio that we're in, it's a remote studio, and it is here in the Box Drop store. So it's a win-win for us here at the Adventure Alley Show. And if you're ever in the Grand Junction, have the opportunity to come over this way and have some fun in the great outdoors, stop into Box Drop Grand Junction, check it out. You may not need a mattress today, but see what a quality mattress looks like, see what the prices that are offered here are, and not only will you be amazed, but you will also be very impressed. Anyway, Box Drop Grand Junction, there you go. Hi, Dave Alley here for the Adventure Alley Show. Thanks for coming back. I was just getting through with the wild animals in the city part of it, and my last comment was with that. I saw that picture of that fox with a house cat in its mouth, and that was really a sad thing. But they got to eat too, and if you live out in the boondocks or out to the edge of town, you got to be careful, especially when there's coyotes, fox, and any other type of predators out there. Even hawks. I've seen hawks, eagles take out cats, chickens, the whole shooting match. So if you're out that way and you got a cat or a chicken, keep it in the house. They'll be happy. They'll thank you for it, absolutely, for sure. Well, let's get down to the songs that are turning 40 this year, and this has really nothing to do with the great outdoors. But in this this show, it really doesn't make any difference. I'm just trying to have some fun. Hope you guys are having some fun. But I don't know how old everybody is out there that listens to the show, but I can tell you that I'm sure the majority of them are maybe not as old as I am, but I bet you're in the neighborhood of 35 to 55 or 60. But I don't know. It seems to me, I saw this thing come up the other day, and I just about well, I can't tell you what I almost did, but I was stunned. It's 40 years ago, and I remember these songs, these 40 songs, when they were in the top 10 or the top 5, or they were the number one song 40 years ago this month. And I thought to myself, how in the world could 40 years go by that quickly? I mean, the whole thing is a blur. And I'll be honest with you, I can't remember much about my high school years. I just don't. I mean, if you want to sit down and people reminisce, my old classmates and stuff, I have no idea. I mean, I would probably be like the Denver Broncos football coach. I would be like a deer in the headlights. I just can't remember. And maybe that's good, because I don't remember having all that much fun in high school except for playing football. But I had a lot of nice friends, and the majority of them are still alive, which is interesting because of all the bad habits we had. But still, the fact remains is that 40 years ago is a long, long, long time ago. And here is the list of those 40 songs. And maybe you know them. I'm sure you probably will. I do remember this one. It's by Rod Stewart, and it was "Tonight's is the Night." And that was a very controversial song, because they sometimes wouldn't even play that song on some of the AM stations, just because it had some nasty. Well, I don't know if they were nasty, but yeah, they were pretty suggestive content of that song and the lyrics. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I enjoyed this song. I really like him. I always thought that Rod Stewart was kind of a unique act, and he came over here from Wales or Ireland or something, but still popular today. That son of a gun is like the Energizer Buddy. He keeps going and going and going, and he still doesn't look all that bad. Actually, sometimes early in the morning when my wife gets up, she kind of looks like Rod Stewart with that hairdo. But I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Here's the next one, and this was by Andy Gibb, who's one of the brothers of the Bee Gees, and the song that he had that was a number one hit was "I Just Want to Be Your Everything." That was a number one hit 40 years ago. "Best of My Love" with the Emotions. I don't remember the actual group, but I do remember the song. I thought it was okay. Barbra Streisand, "Evergreen," the theme from Star Is Born. That show's 40 years old. It was a good show. I used to like Barbra Streisand, and then she turned ugly, and then she turned even uglier. And she is one ugly white woman with a big beak. She kind of looks like that chicken with the big beak, and I can't the Colonel chicken or something. Anyway, don't like Barbara. Don't like her politics, but the song was very popular, and there you go. There's still a lot of people that love her. Hasn't seen her for a while. I think she's really kind of gone under the radar. But to be honest with you, she's kind of probably like Linda Ronstadt, who I really, really, truly, I had such a crush on her. Still do, actually, but I think her voice just kind of gave out and so forth. And I wish the best for Linda, because I hear she's got Parkinson's. But Barbara, I don't know what your problem is. I don't think she has Parkinson's. I think she just got a real bad case of ugly. So anyway. I like "Dreamin'" by Kenny Nolan. I remember the song. I don't remember him. But that was a popular song. Thelma Houston, Don't Leave Me This Way. Everybody knows that song. And I mean, that was a staple back in the day. Rita Coolidge, "Higher and Higher." Rita, she was at one time, I think, married to the guy that actually played in that show with Barbra Streisand, the Star Is Born, but I can't remember his name. He's real big. He was real big in the country and western. Hell of a songwriter. Couldn't sing a lick, but he was a great country western songwriter. Next one is I'm Your Boogeyman by KC and the Sunshine Band. Love these guys. And I heard that they were actually on a cruise, a rock and roll cruise ship a couple years ago with several of the other old acts back in the day, and loved that song. But I heard he may be having some problems with his health as well, so I hope the best for him. This is one of my absolute favorite groups in the world, Dancing Queen by ABBA. Well, that's the name of the song, was Dancing Queen, but it was by ABBA. I mean, I had such a crush on that blonde-haired girl. Oh my God! But loved every song they ever did. Well, not every song, but a lot of their songs, and it brings back some great memories. I mean, absolutely great memories for a band that came over here from Sweden or somewhere and couldn't speak a lick of English and sang all those songs. Without one mistake in English. Amazing. Absolutely, truly amazing. The next one is You Make Me Feel Like Dancing by Leo Sayer. I remember the song, don't remember too much about Leo. Now, here's one of everybody's favorite, Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville. Can you believe that's 40 years old this month? Oh, my goodness. Makes me want to have a margarita. Boy, that sounds good. Telephone Line by Electric Light Orchestra. No one knows who they are. They used to be called ELO. And a telephone line. We don't even have telephone lines anymore. Well, we do, but no one knows what they are. Great group. They broke up and had some real problems with, just like any group, with getting along with one another. But anyway, I think they're trying to make a comeback, and except for the guy that actually wrote all the songs, I don't know how that's going to work. But anyway, ELO, good group. Enjoyed them. The Duke by Stevie Wonder. The Wonder, boy, this guy could actually belt a tune. This guy was one of the all-time. Actually, he's on my all-time top 10 performers. Stevie's a great guy. Has a lot of good songs, a lot of good tunes. Haven't heard much from him lately, but he's kind of a little long, like me and everybody else. He's a little long in the tooth. Here's one of my favorite bands with one of my favorite songs, Hotel California by the Eagles. I remember driving out to Los Angeles in 1977, and this song was on the radio continually. Hotel California by the Eagles. I know how they actually, it took them over 3.5 months to actually finally get a recording of this song that they actually liked. And this is a song that even today that that pothead and dope dealer, oh God, what's his name? Gosh, I'm such bad with names. He said that when they play this song, they all have to pay really attention to what they're doing, because it's a hard song to play and to sing. And too bad for Glenn Frey. God rest his soul. He's no longer with us. But anyway, great group, great song. You Got to Give It Up by Marvin Gaye. Poor Marvin got killed by his dad. Well, that was a tragedy, wasn't it? Good Lord. Rich Girl by Hall & Oates. These guys were a tremendous act back in the day, and really enjoyed listening to them. And they were very popular back in the 70s and early 80s. I think they even tried to get back together a year or two ago. Wish them the best of luck. Great group. Hotline by the Stylers. I don't know the song, don't know them. Car Wash by Rosie Royce. That's a great name for the actor, the singer, Rosie Royce. It's like a Rolls Royce going to the car wash. Everybody knows that song. Hell, they play it in about every 2 or 3 years, coming up with some sort of a song or some sort of a movie. Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr., You Don't Have to Be a Star to Be in My Show. That's the name of the song. Really liked her, didn't really particularly like him. They were in the Fifth Dimension for years and years. And they had a few good songs, but I can't believe that's 40 years old. But anyway, whatever. Stevie Miller, what a great guy. Gosh, he was one of the few, well, not the few. He was one of the many, the rock and rollers back in the late 60s, early 70s, that came out of Los Angeles, and just an amazing guy. Fly Like an Eagle, Stevie Miller. Great guy. Great group. Here's a guy that was an actor turned singer turned, I don't know what he turned. He turned he turned unemployed. Don't Give Up on Us by David Soul. That when I went out to Los Angeles that year in 1977, not only did I hear the Hotel California about every other third mile, but I also this song they played this song constantly, and I got tired of it. He was on a show called Starsky and Hutch, and that was actually filmed out in Long Beach in California. So who knows? On and On by Stephen Bishop. I remember the song, don't remember much about him. Feel Like the First Time, Foreigner. Foreigner was always a good group. They had a lot of good songs. Can't Get It Right. The Climax Blue Band. Don't know them, or I know them, but not really good. Easy by the Commodores. Randy Jackson played with the Commodores. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but Randy was, I think he was the bass player for the group for years and years. And then they kind of went their separate ways, and he turned up on American Idol and the other guy that did the majority of the singing. He ended up with a good solo career. Anyway, that's interesting. Right Time of the Night by Jennifer Warnes. Boy, there's another song that I heard going out to California that year. I mean, between David Soul, Jennifer Warner, and the Eagles. I knew all the songs by heart now. I've got Love on My Mind by Natalie Cole. She was a great singer. Dad was a great performer. I'm too bad of her tragic end. Anyway, Blinded by the Night by Mansfield Man's Earth Band. This is a group that's one of the one hit wonders. Good song, not great, but it was okay. It was in the top 10. I guess it was okay. Barry Manilow. Who doesn't remember Barry? Looks like we made it. This guy was an idol for all the girls and the young girls. And most of the songs that he actually had written or helped write were about young lovers and so forth. But all the young girls just loved this guy and had a big crush on him. If they knew that he was gay at the time. But Barry's still around, still out in Vegas, trying to get back on track. But poor Barry. The last time he was performing, and I don't remember where it was. I think it was out at the Sunset Station or something. I think only had a couple hundred people show up to his concert, but he's still a good guy. The Atlantic Rhythm section, So Into You, good group, good song, one hit wonders. Fleetwood Mac was huge in the 70s, absolutely magnificently huge. They had a lot of great songs. They had the number one album for 18 weeks in a row. Rumors that they produced back in 76, I believe it was. But an amazing group, and they've got a few problems. They're still trying to tour. A lot of the old players are still around. Stevie Nicks can still sing. But anyway, I don't know what can you say. They're a good group. The Jacksons, who can not go from the 70s and early 80s and not hear a Jackson song. I'm not talking about Michael Jackson, but the Jacksons themselves. And then Peter Frampton, everybody knows, I'm in you. Peter Frampton was a real heartthrob for a lot of girls back in the day. Lucille, Kenny Rogers. I worked with a lady back in the 80s that went to Las Vegas, and I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. Took her panties off and threw them up on the stage at a Kenny Rogers concert. Oh, my God, I can't believe she did that. Oh, my. Just think, that was back in, back in 81 or 82, and then that's been 40-some years ago or whatever, and she's probably 80. Oh, my God, that's just, can you think can you imagine an 80-year-old throwing her panties up on the stage these days? That's, ooh. All the things we do for love. 10cc, good group, a good song. Sean Cassidy, God rest him, his soul. He died last year. He had a song that was in the top 10. Actually, I think he had more than one, but the song was Da Do Ron Ron, Da Do Ron Ron. Handyman by James Taylor. I was never a James Taylor fan now or then, but he seemed to write a lot of good songs, very popular songs. Yay. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, still going strong back in the 70s and 80s. They were one of the bands that actually played out their first real big gig was out in Woodstock in 69. Yeah, Alice Cooper, You and Me. Now, here's the deal. Alice Cooper, I heard, and I don't know if this is actually true or not, but I was told that we could have had Alice Cooper at our prom, our junior-senior prom back in Montrose in 1972, but all the girls thought it was a girl, and they didn't want Alice to show up and make it a bad scene. I don't know if that's a true story or if that's just a lie, an urban legend. I don't know. Don't care. Don't like Alice. Don't like his songs. Glad he didn't come to the junior-senior prom. He's weird. Anyway, he was very popular then. Top song. And the last one, Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold. Have no idea who this joker is. But he was in the top 40, so what are you going to do? So there you go. There's the top 40 songs, or the 40 songs that are turning 40. Got to take another break. Be right back. Hi, everyone. This is Dave Alley of the Adventure Alley Show on the IB Network, inviting you to join me every Thursday at 3 o'clock and then again at 9 o'clock for a show on the great outdoors. I will inform and hopefully entertain you on everything outdoors, such as ideas on camping, fishing, hunting, as well as reviewing local microbreweries and sports bars. Also, please follow me on Twitter at Adventure Alley or email me at adventurealley@ibnetwork.us.
Programming produced by and for the Internet Broadcasting Network can be found on TuneIn. Be sure to take us with you by using the TuneIn app on all your mobile devices. This is the IB Network.
Hi, Dave Alley here for the Adventure Alley Show. Just got through going over the songs that just turned 40. That they were either number one or top 5 or top 10. A lot of them I remember, and I'm sure a lot of them you do too. But we agree with you, like them or not. I don't know. Most of them, I think I enjoyed most of them. I really do. Now, quickly, I'm going to go over my top 10 groups of the 70s. And that's kind of my era, the 70s. I didn't particularly hear a lot of good music in the 80s or 90s, and I didn't actually listen to a lot of music after the 70s. And that's just because I was too busy trying to crawl up the corporate ladder, provide food and shelter and clothing for my family, and try to have fun. And I actually got out and did a lot of stuff in the great outdoors. So, and as everyone should. Anyway, here's my top 10 groups for the 70s. Number 1, the Eagles. Number 2, the Doobie Brothers. Number 3, Boston. Number 4, ABBA. I mean, I told you about what crush I had on that blonde-haired girl. Oh my God, she was beautiful. I saw that they had possibly going to do a reunion, some sort of a whacked out images of them or something, I don't know, coming up, which I think is pretty cool, but we'll see how that goes. Number 5, Chicago. Boy, those guys threw out more hits and more albums than I think anybody in the history of the music industry did. Stevie Wonder. Number 6, loved Stevie. He had some great songs. He was a great writer, composer. He did a lot of the stuff himself. But there's one thing about Stevie which I think is very interesting. A week or so ago, Aretha Franklin passed, and this is the thing that when I read this, first of all, I started laughing to the point I almost peed my pants. But Stevie Wonder said that he thinks and he contributes the death of Aretha Franklin to global warming. And I read that and I thought, this can't be true. This has got to be some sort of fake news. But no, he actually confirmed it, that he said that the reason that poor Aretha Franklin died is because of global warming. Now, I don't know if she got hot, cold, or she was just just died because she was in such a panic of the way the earth was going. I don't know. But Stevie, you're a great songwriter and a great entertainer. But, oh, man. You need to sober up, friend. You need to sober up. Number 7, Fleetwood Mac. One of the first albums I ever bought was from Fleetwood Mac, their Rumors album. Still have it today. What a great album that was. Steely Dan, another good group. Number 9 is America. Now, oh my God, America. No, they were a great group, and they had some great songs. They had a Horse with No Name, which was number 1 for 5 or 6 weeks in a row, back in the early 70s. Great group, fun group. Number 10, Michael Jackson. Who could not have a favorite top 10 and not have Michael Jackson in that group? The guy was absolutely amazingly talented, and he just turned into a goofball, which kind of threw him over the edge. But you get to that position where you're making that much money, have that much power. I guess we'd all turn a little bit goofy. I mean, look at even some of the other entertainers that have gone down that direction. So, but Michael Jackson, God, he had the number 1 album of all time until the Eagles just surpassed that last week. Honorable mention to my groups: Kenny Loggins, Rolling Stones, REO Speedwagon, Jimmy Buffett, of course, Santana, Rod Stewart. There you go. Jackson Browne did a lot of good writing. Wrote a lot of songs for a lot of the other performers. Another one. Here's another one that was an absolute one of the best guitar players I have ever heard in my entire life. Stevie Ray Vaughan. This guy could actually play a guitar behind his back, and I've seen him do it. The guy was a phenomenal performer. He was an actual freak. He was so good. But he, again, it was like all the good ones, lost his life early because he was in a helicopter crash. And I don't know, was that in Colorado or Montana or somewhere? But he was caught in a snowstorm, and his helicopter went down and killed him. But the guy was an absolute freak. He was that good. I mean, just that great. Just great. Anyway, did you also? But that's it. That's my top 10 and my honorable mention bands. I'm sure there's some of them that are maybe into yours and maybe not. I don't know if you see where's Aerosmith? Yeah, no. I heard this is a story I was telling my wife the other day. We're coming back from Blue Mesa. And we heard a song by Aerosmith, and didn't hear a song by Aerosmith on the radio. We were driving back, and all these motorcycles were going by, zoom, zoom, zoom. And she says, "Well, I thought Sturgis, the rally up there was over." I says, "Yeah, I think it's been over for a couple of weeks, or at least a week or so." And then we got to talking about how neither of us would have any interest in going up there to that rally. But I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun if you were into that kind of stuff. Just like all those guys wouldn't have any fun doing the kind of stuff I like to do. But that being the case, our conversation went, and I said, well, I had a good friend in Colorado Springs that went to the rally a couple years ago. He and his wife, they went up there and stayed 3 or 4 days. And one of the forms of entertainment, or one of the entertaining talents that they had up there, was Aerosmith. And I don't know where they would have a venue to have those guys perform, but it must have been somewhere in a big field or something. I don't know. I've never been up there, can't say. But the fact remains is Aerosmith was on the docket for the entertainment for that particular day. So they said, well, we might as well go to the concert. So they paid their money, went to the concert. The concert started, didn't even get warmed up, and poor old that goofball Tyler fell off the stage and broke his collarbone, and they had to take him to the emergency ward. He was that hammered. So that kind of put the Coangos to the concert for the Aerosmith concert for that night. But he said, yeah, it was a disaster. Poor old Tyler just got all hammered up, drunk, and fell off the stage and broke his collarbone. Oh, my. Well, that's... we've all done stupid stuff. That's all I can say. All right, well, that's all through that. I really had fun putting that together. So whether it's an entertainer, whether you like it or not, think about your own groups. Think about the songs that they sang back in. Remember, think about your old sweethearts back in college and high school. And, if you were older and stuff in the junior high like me, maybe even back then. But, yeah, those were the good old days. Don't remember a whole lot from that era, but I think I had fun. I think I did. Anyway, did you know that colder weather's coming our way, and we need to be on the lookout for the upcoming epidemic of parasites that will be coming out of the woods and the great outdoors, and they're going to want to try to bite you. And a lot of these parasites are ticks, and I got just a few varieties here that you need to be aware of depending on where you live. Of course, there's the Great Lakes deer ticks, and they're mostly up in the great northeast, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, North Dakota, South Dakota, and some parts of Pennsylvania. The Great Lakes deer tick. If they bite you, you'll know it, and you can get seriously. Any of these ticks that bite you, you could actually get some sort of a disease, Lyme's disease, and so forth. And it may not kill you, but it'll certainly knock your socks off. My oldest daughter had tick fever when she was, I want to think she was like 13 or 14. And it really put her down for a week, and it was not good. And she still had recurring effects of that for years and years afterwards. But spot yourselves when you get out of the woods, or even outdoors playing sports or catch with your kids, or playing catch with whoever, or just even going to a ball game. Check yourself over for ticks, and if you want to really have some fun, check out your wife or your husband and see if they've got ticks, and that might start up something. Get your head out of the gutter. The next one is the Lone Star brown tick. This is a tick that's really got a lot of bad stuff in it, and if they bite you, you can actually get sick within a matter of hours. And it's mostly down in Texas, Arizona, and Louisiana, and down around the swamp areas and so forth. So be careful of that. If you're in the Rocky Mountain area, that's the Rocky Mountain spotted tick. This would be Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Montana, and Idaho. This is the tick that I think that bit my oldest daughter and made her sick. And those little buggers are really prolific in the springtime and in the fall. So anytime you guys are coming out of and they're probably going to be out now for at least till the middle of next month. So make sure when you come in, make sure that you check yourself over and they're not on you. I remember this last spring. No, was it this spring or last spring? Well, it doesn't make any difference. I had 4 ticks on me that year, and I hardly ever had a tick on me in the past. And I had 4 ticks, and I actually went to my granddaughter's gymnastics meet in Colorado Springs, and the damn tick was crawling on me during the competition. And I thought, oh my God, look at this damn tick! And I probably was on my clothes or my coat or something. I don't know. But be careful. You got to get serious about taking a look for these ticks to make sure you don't get bitten. And then there's the Southern California lunatic, Maxine Waters. She's huddles down there around the Watts area down in 5 Points in Los Angeles. So if you're down in that area and you see a lunatic, it's Maxine Waters. So anyway, be careful of the ticks. Be careful of the parasites. And speaking of parasites, there's a lot of them that are hanging around in the Beltway there and around Virginia and Washington D.C. So be careful with that as well. Oh boy, there goes my blood pressure up again with Maxine Waters. Anyway, hunting. Let's talk a little bit about hunting. I said that earlier that bow season is on here in the great Rocky Mountain West. If you're hunting elk, deer, or there goes a race car down the street. Boy, where did that come from? That's cool. Man, speaking of that, I'm going to go to the race out in Las Vegas a couple weeks. Can't wait for that. Yeah. Well, that's going to be fun. Anyway, the bow season's on, and it's if you're going to hunt bear, deer, elk, or moose, you're up. I mean, you're up right now. So get out there and practice your skills at shooting a bow and arrow, and getting out there and maybe getting some of these. The weather's been so doggone weird here, especially in Colorado. The wind's been blowing a lot, and that's not good for bow hunters. because those elk can smell you, or those deer can smell you, or bears and so forth. They can not only smell you, but they can hear you coming because of the when the wind blows and it magnifies your walking through the brush. But be patient, and so forth. But deer and antelope are on right now, and if you're gonna want to hunt deer like up here in the western slope, over here on the western slope, make sure that the fire restrictions that are in place and so forth. Sure, you don't want to get in trouble over that. But or pronghorn antelope. There seems like there are just so many antelope anymore. Every time I go anywhere, I always see a herd or two of antelope, and I'm happy for it. I really am, and I just I think finally the Game and Goose finally did something right with them, and I hope they don't screw it up by trying to harvest a lot more of them or give them more hunting license when they shouldn't. Muzzle loading is coming up. That's starting in September, and that'll run through the end of September, the 29th. And so if you're a muzzle loader and you like to get out there and shoot like Davy Crockett and so forth, strap it up. Put the old gunpowder in the barrel, push it down there with something or another. Don't use a branch or something that'll get stuck in your gun. But pump in the old the gunpowder, put in a patch, put in your bullet, and that just seemed like way too much work. And then you only get one round. And it's kind of like hunting with a muzzle loader is kind of like hunting with a bow. You got to be really patient and so forth. But there are people that love it, and God bless them. I think it's great. And then of course rifle season starts up here. And the first season for elk and deer will be the middle of October, and that'll run through the end of the year. So wherever state you're in, contact your local game and goose, and they'll give you the actual over the counter chances that you can get for a license or so forth, and what season and what dates they are. So anyway, it's coming up. This is a great time of year. It's college football is starting, school starting, cooler air, thank God, and hunting season. And there's nothing better than going out and having a great hunt. So anyway, that's kind of the situation with the hunting here in the great Rocky Mountain West. Maybe I should take another quick break, and before I do that, I want to make a quick comment. One of the sponsors this week is the G-Wagon, which is a Denver-based roach coach, if you will. But the G-Wagon is the best place to eat a Philly cheese sandwich. It's called a Denver cheese sandwich, but it's kind of patterned after the Philadelphia cheese sandwiches. And absolutely the best. They have one of the best cooks that I think that have come out of culinary school over the last 5 or 6 or 10 years. The G-Wagon and the Reefer Brothers. But try to find it. It's a big green wagon. Looks like a big green weenie. And the best French fries, the best sandwiches, the best. If they'll even sing to you, the best entertainment if you want in the Denver area. I don't know where they're at. You just have to go on their website under G-Wagon Denver and find out where they're going to be for that particular day. Go down, support them, eat a sandwich, have some fries. Not only will it won't bust your budget for lunch, but oh my God, will it absolutely be the best sandwich, and I am not exaggerating, you will ever eat. Anyway, be right back.
This is the IB Network.
Hi, Dave Alley here for the Adventure Alley Show. Thanks for sticking in with us here. Going over the hunting season, kind of calendar for the upcoming year, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And the herds and of deer and elk, at least I know here in the Rocky Mountain West, seem to be fairly strong. It's always very interesting how the Game and Fish, how they come up with their numbers and how they actually communicate that to the public. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how many people are actually going to be out in the field. One thing I didn't mention that I would like to is that the hunting season is here, and the actual number of females, girls and ladies that are hunting over the last couple of years has increased significantly over just other hunters, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. I love to see girls and women in the field. And they're just as good as shots. Actually, sometimes they're actually better, and they're definitely more motivated than some of the hunters that I've hunted with or know that in the past. So, congratulations, ladies! Stick with it. Love to see you out there. Have some fun. Be careful, but good luck. Good luck to you. Here's a nutrition facts. Well, it's actually one fact. I don't know. Actually, drinking water is a nutritious fact. I don't really know. I guess maybe it is. But anyway, it says here, if you drink a gallon of water per day, you won't have time for other people's drama because you'll be too busy peeing. Well, that's true, because if you drink a gallon of water, you'll be peeing a lot. And if people come up to you and they want to tell you their drama, well, you won't have time to hear it, or won't have a lot of time to hear it. So you'll say, I'm sorry, I can't listen to you because I have to go to the bathroom. And that's good. I mean, that's a good way to be. And another thing here that I want to throw out here is that now, if you drink a gallon of beer a day to go along with your gallon of water, not only will you be peeing a lot, but you also won't give a rat's ass about other people's drama at all, or even about other people. Well, is that good or bad? I don't know. I think it's a win-win for everybody. But, if you're going to drink a gallon of water, drink a gallon of beer, and enjoy yourself. And actually, some beer is good for you. I read that from a couple weeks ago, and I was given my rundown on the top 10 microbreweries in the country. They're saying that the majority of that beer is very healthy. I mean, obviously you have to drink it in moderation. You don't drink more than maybe a gallon or two a day. But anyway, who drinks more than a gallon of beer or two a day? I don't think anybody does. Well, maybe there are. I don't know. I drink beer every day. I think, well, not every day, but most days. But anyway, beer's good. Beer's good for you. But anyway, I think it's a win-win for everybody. Stay hydrated, my friends. Stay hydrated. I want to go over really quickly about the nut harvest at the almond orchard up in California. I was up there a couple of weeks ago seeing my Air Force cadet, and we went out and harvested almonds off the ground. And actually, I think I'm going to save that for next week, because that's really kind of goes into some other stuff. I'm going to go as far as the great harvest for this year, and what other things you can harvest besides pinion nuts and almond nuts and so on and so forth. But anyway. Real quickly, I'm going to kind of going down to the end of the show here. I've got to kind of determine what I want to go. And as you know, Paul Ryan is retiring for the House of Representatives, and he's also going to be retiring as being the Speaker of the House. And that all comes to an end, a screeching end, the end of this year after the election. So after 2018, the Paul Ryan will no longer be in the House of Representatives, and he'll be retired. Now, that being said, the other members of the House of Representatives and Congress itself, I guess, was looking for an appropriate retirement gift to give to Paul, since he's had his time, and he was a vice president candidate couple years ago, but they wanted to give him an appropriate retirement gift, to show their appreciation and so on and so forth. So they were hemming and hawing. They didn't know exactly what they were going to do, but they finally decided that what they were going to settle on was they settled on a gift that they thought that would be very appropriate for Speaker Paul Ryan, and that they're going to actually give Paul Bruce Jenner's balls for a retirement gift. So there you go, Paul. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy retirement. Gosh, where can I go with that? I can't go any further than that, I'll tell you. Anyway, well, it's time for me to get out of here. Josh, I don't know. Paul Ryan, Bruce Jenner's balls. What's coming? What is wrong with this world? Anyway, for the IB Network, my studio engineer Tim Wacker, my equipment engineer Carson Breeze, my IT engineer Blake Olson. This is Dave Alley saying, "You only live once, so get out there and have some fun." This has been an Against the Grain production. This is the IB Network.